Okay. Yeah, that we don't even have to be there as a host. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have another stream going. So I was looking at my bandwidth usage. Anthony, if you want to try and move 1350 around. For now, hold on 1 second. Let me. Yeah. Okay, yeah, definitely the camera computer is an upload of 5 megabits a second. Yeah, it's holding pretty good. 2 concurrent viewers. Yeah. That's actually not too bad by comparison. Definitely not operable, but yeah. 1350. Nope. My switches are backwards. So how does the overhead view look? This is a different camera from earlier. Yeah, I can move that a little bit. I don't think I have enough wide enough angle camera to get all of that in there. But really, there's not much going on past the 2 edges of the screen. So yeah, I think for the top session, I can use the other camera once they go off into this section. Just get those spots for them, and I'll be here and I'll just move it as needed. So we'll do the POV camera, and I'll figure out a way. I have to see if there's some kind of custom settings for this camera, for the top camera, to see if I can't cut it down. Because right now there's a lot of excess room in there. Good idea. What I could do. Yeah, so do that, and then I can put the POV camera down a little bit further. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you one. Unfortunately, TriCam is kind of limited on the amount of resolution that I have. I've only been messing with it for a few minutes. So I don't know if there's some way that I can edit a big file to make the camera only output the resolution that I want. Yeah. Yes, and L is long address, so go ahead and steal it. Nobody connected to it. I see you connected to the computer here. Granted, we won't be having multiple people operating at one time on this layout, although I guess it's theoretically possible that we could have somebody move a switcher around if needed. I am using a PySpark, and it can support more than one connection. Hold on. Let me go on to Panel Pro. Open up my own throttle. I'm just opening one now to see if I can take that address. It's already in use by another device. What device is using it? Okay, that's really odd. Oh, you do. You do have it. So hit F8. Or hit 8. Function keys. Yeah, you got control of it. Yes. Let me double check with the camera. Yeah. This is the front. This is the back. You currently have one car. You are currently set up so that you can come back, and if you bring back, it will actually be on this track right here. Bernard, I can put you up into the section up here. It's kind of making me want to put switch motors on every single switch now so that somebody can really mess around with the layout. I haven't quite gotten into putting switch motors on every other switch yet, and some of the ground throws. Yeah. Well, when I did it, I originally only had myself to think about. There we go. Now you're hooked up to that. Okay. My wife is also streaming something there, so that could be part of it. As Netflix offers. I just turned the turnouts through. I'm watching the YouTube feed, and the fact that I'm also watching it probably isn't helping. We'll be doing this next Friday. Oh, yeah, you are correct on that one. I need a less wobbly camera. Or tripod. is in place. You can't run off the edge. Probably. Well, okay. With the addition of the POV camera, it should really help things. Yeah. Definitely not. So that's why I'm just going to get strapped to the top of one of these with some tape that I have for modeling. I have this tape that doesn't leave any residue, and that should be good enough. We'll just ride piggyback on the top of the locomotive. Anthony, you can actually pull that up to the engine house if you wanted, which is right over here. Yeah, it goes off the edge of the camera. Even my nice new camera with its ultra wide lens can't get the whole thing. We can. I don't have it initialized, but I have an Arduino hooked up to this that can actually read the ground throws and update JMRI. So, theoretically, with a little bit of help, somebody could manually switch, remotely change the routes and everything themselves. And I would only have to move 2 or 3 ground throws a little. I'd be able to see where I turned it to. I wish we could do this at the club. However, as I was telling Anthony, our layout's way too big for that. Yeah. I had an idea and I lost the post-it note. Actually, I probably threw it away when I was cleaning up. But my idea for Friday is each of the cars, on the top of them, I'm going to have a piece of paper with a color and the car number on it. So you'll be able to easily identify them. Because like over here, this box car just kind of disappears if you're not really paying attention to where it's at. So that would be... Yeah, sure. Let me print something up real quick. I was going to just print them off of the printer real quick, but I can do that. I figure out how to do a background. $21, $5, $21, $5, $47. Let's see if this works. realized I don't have scissors with me, so this will do. I'm not sure if you can read that. If you can. Okay. So maybe I will not put color on there. What I could do instead is 215467, but I ripped off part of it on accident. Okay. Let's print this out. Yeah, I'll put scissors down here, oddly enough. No, those all went upstairs with my nice little toolkit caddy that I have. When I model stuff, if the wife's awake, I bring stuff upstairs and work on it for watching TV. How about that? Okay, cool. I can make that look a lot nicer, and I can make it actually stick to the car. For the engines, what I'll do is I'll just put a little dot of something on there, so if somebody doesn't know where they're at, and they see this red thing moving around, I realize most of my stuff is UP, so it's got a nice gray top to it, and you can't really see it sometimes. So somebody looking quickly may lose it for a fraction of a second and have to take a moment to reacquire where it's at. So I'll just put a little dot of something on top of them that sticks out brightly. But, I mean, if you know where to look, you don't lose them at all. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I realized I don't have anything with keep alives in it that isn't gray on top. And my layouts is Power of the Frogs. I need to run the keep alives on them. Yeah. Okay, cool. This is working very That's good. Yeah, you're only less than an inch. Yeah. Yeah, I was watching Anthony, who had never run any of this stuff, or barely run any of this stuff before, and he was getting along with it really easily as well. So, most of my switching spots are at curve. A lot of the couplers don't automatically line up, so I just have to be there to push them into place. When you're working with small layouts, sometimes you're... Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's semi-similar on prototype layouts, or on prototypes. No, one of the cars jumped the track and shorted everything out. I think I'm going to pull this I'm gonna pull this off. Yeah. Oh no, you're good to move around. You can even test and see how easily trackable the number is. I don't think there's any weird distortion on the camera. It should be high enough up. Yeah. I'll run the power in a better way for Friday. Yeah, on Friday. I think my boss will also be joining us for that because he's the one who was helping me test this out earlier when I was making a couple of the changes, and he was just running around all over the place. He had never done it before either. So it's nice to see that all you got to do is say, download this app, connect to this IP address with this port number, and here's the Google Meet. Now you can operate. I gotta remember though that new people who just downloaded the engine driver app don't see the same screen that I do because I have my throttle customized on it. So as I was trying to tell Anthony, like, hey, yeah, you're gonna want to move this slider, and he's like, wait, what slider? But I have. $44.29 doesn't have any roster entries for the functions, so that's why we weren't seeing any. I have gone through and listed all the functions in the JMRI software for $30 or $13.50. So what you're not seeing is this other computer back here behind the scenes running. It's actually connected via TeamViewer to a Raspberry Pi that's under my layout that's doing all the command and control for the layout. But it has this Java Model Railroad interface program on it. I think I got the acronym correct. And it has a roster connected to it where if I click on 1350, eventually it will open up and show me all of the function keys and all that stuff. It is. Yeah, it runs on, well, Linux and x86 products, ARM products. As long as it can run whatever the current version of Java is. Mm. Yeah, I'll send you the link to this thing later. It's kind of hit some of the limitations of Java in many places. However, they seem to manage getting past a lot of the speed bumps eventually. The things that this can do is quite amazing. Like I can program the locomotives. You see here how it's got all of these names and stuff for different functions on it. That's why you see those on there. But for 44.29, I don't have any of those listed yet because one company is really nice and lists them all out for me. You know, Trains on the other hand, that makes 44.29 only lists the basics. So I haven't gone through and looked up what every single item is. Most of the stuff you'd never use, like you'd never turn off the slow splitter, the decoder in the locomotive will do that automatically. So really you'd use bell, horn, coupler clank, and maybe drive hold if you're on a big layout, which if you hit drive hold, which is F9, and put the throttle all the way to max, it won't go anywhere. It'll just sound like it's going somewhere. Not at the moment. I've got to fix that. I can hear it, which you can probably hear through my headphones. Yep. But since I made some changes, for whatever reason the audio isn't working, but the Droid cameras, the cameras on my phone, they were working earlier today. There's just some setting in OBS that I have to get used to. This is JMRI, Java Model Railroad Interface, or Railroad Interface. So this is actually running on a little Raspberry Pi that's running a Raspberry Pi that's actually underneath the layout. Oops, facing the wrong way. And that actually has a little hat that sits on top of it that does all the actual software control for the layout and sends all the signals. With a more traditional command and control system, you'd have physical throttles and a controller board or command station underneath the layout, and then you have a device that will interpret the USB signals that come to it. However, this one is new enough that the Sprott company just combined them all into one thing. Usually the command and control base station doesn't control the JMRI stuff. But I could talk with you more offline about that. People are contributing stuff to this all the time. And it's much bigger than even just what is published to the JMRI website. We have some stuff that interfaces with it that isn't published out there to the world because it's very specific to our setup. It's also pretty old, some of it, so I don't think we have or know exactly how it works enough to publish it to their website, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of hacks that you can do with the system. Yeah. With mine, it's actually, for me, I'm just using the basic JMRI layout diagram. But ours at the club is a lot more in depth than this one. So hit F8 or 8. Try hitting release then. You might have to click on 1350. Yeah, release, type 1350, and then acquire. It may have just lost that connection. I moved it. No, I moved it so if Bernard wanted to, he could run around. Oh, you're moving. Pull forward a little bit. Pull forward a bit. Yeah. Yeah. You're moving. If you're looking at the YouTube, then it's going to be delayed. Yeah, so if you're on me, it's pretty low latency. However, the YouTube stream is about 7 seconds or so. Yeah. No. You should be clear, Bernard, to go around. Oh, no, I didn't. We'll just do it by hand. I thought I did a job of re-leveling the layout, but apparently there's still a high spot right here. All right, Anthony, if you go back, you can pick up that car that's there. All right, Bernard, you're set to go on to the main line and then that yard or that side track up above. About where you're at right now for coupling. However, you can go a little bit faster on the in-between moves. It looks really slow on the camera, but it is... Well, actually, it looks really fast on the camera, but it's much slower in real life. Yep. And... Oh, I forgot to switch one on right there to get over to that track for the warehouse. No, you can go ahead and go back. Right now, you're set up to go into what is otherwise called the RIP track, repair and place track. This is where, like, say a car had a damaged coupler or something like that, or bad brakes, they'd pull it in here, maybe switch out the brake shoes or replace a hose or something like that. Very, very minor repairs overall. Like, they wouldn't read the car completely in there. A little bit faster at this, I guess. Yeah, just totally full. There we go. Now you're set to go back on the warehouse. No, I have momentum turned on a little bit, so it's not going to be overly crazy. It doesn't respond instantly. This is a different publisher. I do not know if it's open source, although I'm on their website. Probably have this somewhere here. Ah, it is. It is. The source code is available on GitHub. So if you just search engine driver, it's engine driver and then mstevetodd.com, and you can see all the code and all that. Well, that box car didn't jump the switch this time. I believe that's one of the Scale Trains kits. One of the wheels axles fell out earlier, so. No. Then again, it's been rattling around in a filing cabinet that I've been pushing around the basement for a couple of days. Not related. We could put it out on the main line here. Let me change the switch somewhere about right here. I need to get a pointer. Yeah, or one of the fluorescent pointers that they use for reef tanks when they point out corals and stuff under the blue light because they're really flashy. Oop. Alright. So I'll come up with a switch list for Friday. I'm just going to go with similar moves we had the first time we did this, but different cars probably. No. And I definitely did not have it recorded either. And now you can run around behind. On the passenger siding. Yep. Alright, your switch is aligned to go back up onto the main line. Yeah, I haven't measured out the switch fouling points, but that's clear. It's hard to see, but the main line is actually a little bit above the siding here. I don't know if that shows or not. Yeah. Once I get everything ballasted, it will probably show up. However, it's definitely one of those details that's more for the people who are actually standing here. But everything on the siding should be set so that it pretty much can't roll out on the main line except for one section over here. However, with how I have things apparently not very level, that may happen anyways. Alright, that's good. Alright, so I will get the sound working for Friday. I will be out, or car numbers for everything and come up with a switch list that's honestly going to be the same as the last time, but with just different cards. Yeah, just in a different order. Yeah. Yeah, we could have a couple people. One person does one move, the next person does the other. Since there's no web throttle to work with, all they gotta do is just connect and take over the engine. So the stream held pretty well the whole time. I'll go back and watch it once it's done processing. But it looks like we'll have a good stream for Friday, and then we'll just do that on the SVL account for YouTube streaming instead of my own personal one. Yeah, you can send me, or I'll get a key from you, and then you can just run the stream on the SVL YouTube. The wonders of modern technology and remote everything. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you for testing with me. I am satisfied with how this is going to work out. Okay. Yeah, YouTube. Oh,